You've hooked a trophy bass, hearts pounding, rods doubled over, but then you see it. The lure's buried deep in the gut. Cut the line and hope it survives, or dig in and risk killing it. Science has tested this exact dilemma on largemouth and smallmouth, and the answers aren't what most anglers expect. I'm Travis from Green Valley Anglers. With 30 years chasing these green fish from muddy farm ponds to crystal clear highland reservoirs, I've dedicated my life to learning everything I can about bass fishing. Today, we unpack two key studies, their methods, results, and real water fixes, so you release smarter and keep those giants growing. The gut hook dilemma, why it matters for every angler. Every bass angler faces this, reel in a solid fish, only to spot the hook lodged deep past the gills. Instinct screams, save it. But one wrong yank could doom that bass to infection or starvation. Studies show gut hook happens 5 to 20% of the time with certain baits, per Bassmaster conservation data. Spiking in cold water when strikes are slow. But why care? Beyond ethics, poor releases mean fewer trophies tomorrow. Miss those survivors, and you're missing future bites on the giants we all chase. But handle it right, and you amplify the fishery. Healthy releases grow populations, stacking more hookups, and personal bests for seasons ahead. My first gut hook nightmare hit 20 years ago or so, back on a foggy farm pond on the family ranch. I hooked a 6-pounder on a worm, one of the biggest fish I ever caught out of that pond. Saw the hook swallowed deep. I wrenched it out there with my pliers and watched it float belly up a few hours later. That loss stuck with me, pushing me to dig into the science for answers that actually work. The 2010 Largemouth Illinois research, testing hook removal versus leaving it in over 11 months. And the 2022 Ottawa smallmouth follow-up, tightening variables for precise survival rates. Both used controlled deep hooking with live bait or rigs, monitoring short-term mortality, feeding recovery, and long-term growth. 3 core factors tested: barbed versus barbless hooks, through-the-gills removal, and simply cutting the line close to the hook. Hooks were size 2 KO style, rounded, not massive 5.0s, but results scaled to common bass gear. Control groups were lip hooked for baseline, with low mortality as expected. Largemouth survival secrets. For largemouth, the data flips old myths. What if removing the hook isn't always the killer? Let's unpack the 2010 study's eye-opening results. The 2010 study focused on largemouth, simulating deep hooks by letting fish hold live bait for 3 minutes before setting, ensuring consistent gut placement. Groups included lip-hooked controls, barbed and barbless removals with pliers, line cuts leaving 2 inches a leader, and the newer through-the-gills method, sliding the hook eye out of the gill plate for easy extraction. The short term? After 24 hours, mortality was low across all. None of the controls, gill removals, or line cuts. 5% for the barbless plier pulls and 10% for the barbed. Not statistically significant, but hence barbed yanks cause more immediate harm, which makes a lot of sense. Feeding over 6 days, controls and gill removal ate most. Line cut and barbless plier pulled lagged, with barbed removals eating last. Yet, time to resume eating varied widely, likely due to injury depth. Air exposure was minimal for skilled hands, under 30 seconds per method. No factor in the outcomes. Long term, over 11 months in a natural pond, survival and growth matched across groups. No edge for any method. Autopsies on 8 of the line cut fish? Hooks were gone in all, rusted, expelled, or dissolved. For largemouth, flexibility rules. In clear scenarios with small hooks, gill plate removal speeds recovery. Tough cases, cut the line. Smallmouth twist ahead. Largemouth forgive mistakes. But what about smallmouth? The 2022 study changes everything. Let's see why they're tougher to save. The 2022 Ottawa researchers refined the 2010 approach, controlling hook placement precisely, eliminating live bait variability, and focusing on smallmouth's narrower mouths and gills. They tested similar methods, plier removals with barbed and barbless, line cuts, and through-gills with lip-hooked controls. Hooks were size 2 octopus style, straight shank for consistency. Short-term mortality spiked. Through-gills killed 22% within days. Plier pulls 15 to 20, line cuts just 5%. Smallmouth's compact anatomy amplifies gill damage during extraction. Line-cut fish resumed quickest, eating near control levels. Removal groups lagged, with some never fully recovering. Over months, survival favored line cuts at 95%. Removals dropped to 70 to 80%, with growth stunted in survivors. Autopsies showed hooks often expelled, but removal trauma led to chronic issues like scarring. For smallmouth, cut the line every time. Leave 1 to 2 inches. Using barbless would obviously be best, although nobody I know, including myself, ever really uses them. Pro fixes for both species. Science points the way, but how do you apply it on the water? Let's tie it together with my field-tested fixes. Real water fixes. Expert tips from the trenches. Blending these studies, for largemouth, assess the situation. The small hook with clear access, through the gills with hemostats minimizes harm. Is it deeper or a big hook? Cut as close as possible. Let nature handle it from there. Smallmouth, always cut. Their tight body structure risks fatal bleeding from any other method. Some universal tips. If you are really concerned about deep hooking bass or using a technique like live bait or dead sticking, use barbless hooks proactively. Studies show easier shedding and lower mortality. Carry long nose pliers or forceps. Practice quick air-free handling under 30 seconds. Early lake days taught me, uneducated rush removals cost fish. Now, with science guiding, my controlled releases thrive. Healthier waters mean giants for all. Here's a quick recap. Largemouth forgive removals. Smallmouth demand line cuts. Studies prove low mortality overall, but method matters. Barbless helps, practice saves. Apply this and watch your fish live to fight another day. Comment your gut hook stories below. I'll share fixes from my experience. Subscribe to Greenbelly Anglers for science-backed tips that catch more. Hit that notification button, share if it helps, and let's keep bass thriving. I appreciate you, tight lines, and I'll catch you on the next one.